Hello there, welcome to our first new last video. I'll be doing another one of these slash bigger than 7 to 8 years. We're gonna do this really quick one. I'm gonna make my take on this. This will be just a new video for the start of the new era, the middle era. Middle era. This is probably the first video for the middle era. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Now, if you were watching the Roblox videos playlist, then you might have already seen this coming for 2025. But if you were watching from like the new era playlist, then you might have hit the end, and then now you found this video to be the next end era starter of the day. So it is currently 11:02 a.m. November 3, 2025 Eastern Time. I am still in Florida currently, and I am 20 years old. Currently, Donald Trump is still president, and I am currently a lot underweight anymore. Good thing, because the last time you've heard of this, you heard me saying I was underweight back then when I started the era in the first place. That was around early 2025. Not really good. And I ended 2024 not on a good note. So trust me, there's that. Now there's more videos coming out soon. If you would like, again, please leave a like on this video. We'll get this out to more people, because YouTube's been shutting down lots of channels because of their educational content. You know, these days sensationalist content could make you faster money than somebody like me making content with pure passion. This is coming out of my passion. I'm doing this for $0. I won't exactly be available all the time, because soon that will change. And if you were not updated, my mental health is doing fine, and my channel's been doing fine. I'm gonna leave a little jab at the Japanese Prime Minister currently. Well, a certain leader in Japan that has been coming into my eyes, but I'm gonna focus on myself today, because the video is gonna be a starting for the middle era. The middle era contains briefly what it might lead to. The middle era is basically we're in the middle of a standstill, like a standstill, in the GCW, which has started and ended. Well, currently still going, but basically ended on the GCW note on the new era playlist that I formed long ago. So as things have changed, we're now at a standstill, and we're now equal footing with those who are corrupting this world in the means. So during the meanwhile, we need informed leaders out there. As always, we're trying to reach the 2K goal. Still trying to reach 2K. I'm like less than 50 subscribers away, which says a lot. Remember that. Some people unsubscribed during the time, and those I used to have I was less than 40 subscribers away from 2000. Now it's now less than 50, because some people usually would unsubscribe to the channel after a period of time. Those are just unloyal fans. They're not real fans. They're just straight up people who just subbed for one short and then left after they were dissatisfied immediately. That one of them currently doesn't pay for people like me, but I will be doing as much as I can with the shorts to see if I can start asking people to subscribe to my YouTube channel from the shorts, so I can at least get a sort of a boost from that. I currently am still taking screenshots of my watch hours every day, so that I can get a sort of a surfacing from what I'm coming from. So currently YouTube's not been counting my hours properly, and has been only removing them periodically if I underperform. If I underperform, that means my channel is basically not heading out of the place it used to be. And you will understand this from the recordings I did at the start of 2025, when I said my hours only go down when my channel underperforms. So currently I started to use shorts and make shorts to see if that will satisfy people, and it seems to be working, but it is not in my favor, right? It's not the thing I would want to do. It's not something I like doing, right? I want to make short, long videos, so that I can inform you the most for free, because most content creators today, in a world where facts are considered a form of harassment, most creators are fearful of their platform and losing their viewers, because they start mentioning factual things, right, that might challenge the viewers' worldviews. I've been used to that, so I'm much more unafraid of that, right? I get constantly criticized, and I've been used to getting criticized, and then I am used to winning those criticisms, right? And then usually debunking those criticisms. Now, your favorite content creator is not Einstein. I am not going to consider myself an Einstein, but I will consider myself much more challenged and much more informed and academically trained compared to the most normal content creators you see every day on a daily basis. Currently, there are chances you have subscribed to over hundreds to thousands of accounts online. So subscribing to my YouTube channel should not be too hard. Even if you don't want to watch me ever again, Subscribing shouldn't be too costly, and it shouldn't cost you too much energy to do so. I will nerd out the hell out of you. I'm nerding the hell out of you. It's easy. Just do it. It's free. It's right there. It's down below. Right down below. Down below. Now, I've also haven't asked for comments. I will get to the Japanese Prime Minister soon. I have not asked for comments. Please leave down comments. Leave down comments. We need to start this first video for the new playlist, the Metal Era playlist, today. Because I want to make sure that this era, I will try to end it on New Year's, right? And then once we get to 2026, I'm gonna live by then, right? I hope so. Hope so. Hope the world's intact by 2027, if you know what I mean. But that's what I would want to do. I'm gonna mute everybody here. So with that said, I want you to practice what you've learned from the videos I've made. These videos, by the way, are considered educational. So again, YouTube, these videos are done by a professional. I'm a professional. I'm a professional in different sorts of things. I'm skilled in many sorts of things. Now, you don't know who I am, so this is your first video. Technically, if I want to simplify it for people who are new to this channel, I should have said this before. My name's Viz/Maggie. I'm considered somebody you would call a multi-talented individual. I come with multiple talents. So I don't want to make it sound egotistical, though it still is to mention it in the very context. But if you really want to get a sort of like a speed run on what that means, I'm basically multi-talented. If you just don't want to listen to all the boring nitty-gritty of what I mean by that, I'm basically multi-talented and extremely gifted. I didn't come in a rich family though, so I'll immediately put down any assumptions that I had a really great lifestyle, living rich, doing whatever I want. No. I lived in a really hard-working middle-class family, so there has to be differences put aside there. Now, hope I get that to you. Now, this didn't come without a fight. Being smart does not exactly put you with friends that will defend you. Most times, people like me are usually alone, but that's a topic for another day. Let's get into the Japanese Prime Minister. I want to leave a jab today. So, the Japanese Prime Minister, the one who you all voted in, Japan. You know, I love your culture. I absolutely love the music. I love the art. I love all the things that you all do. Some of you think of the most genius things ever. I think your culture has significantly went into its own golden age, which has revolutionized all sorts of things since then, right? We've made huge leaps and we've invented new things, right? We've even went through cultural barriers. I've seen Japanese content was booming, right? Booming business, and it was even surpassing Disney, which is not common normally, right? Disney normally isn't usually surpassed by all sorts of people. Give me a second. This guy is just jumping on my head. Give me a second. I'm not editing this out. Japan was basically, yeah, Japan is doing crazy. So I've heard that there was this high foreigner resentment in Japan. They're trying to flip me off the map. So Japan, there is this high hate against foreigners. I get it. Johnny Somali was the main guy, the culprit behind this. And it not only just started with Johnny Somali, there were all sorts of nuisance content creators who were going over to Japan, messing with all of you and ruining your lives, and getting into your business, and sabotaging your stores, and mocking you, and taking up on your trains, abusing your openness to kindness, and your fragile minds. And unfortunately, this happened on such a mass that all of you, out of your own hatred and your foolishness, no, I'm gonna make sure I attack you, the Japanese people, and the one that you elected in. I get that there's a resent to foreigners who came in for bad things. Those are the bad eggs of Westerners. All Westerners are not all like that. And out of your foolishness, you voted in a Republican extremist Prime Minister. You know, I was happy. She was one of the very first female ones to even get a place like that in Japan's history. In world history, technically. And what disappoints me is that out of all of your rage and your dissent, I know well that in Japan's history, you will always pick Republican. Your work conditions are garbage because you can't seem to elect a person who cares about the workers of your country. You always vote for somebody who just does as much effect to the workforce the same way that other previous leaders did. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. She has this Japan first narrative along with the other previous that came in, right? She is doing the exact same thing. She hates Westerners, she hates foreigners, she hates the Chinese and the Korean, she hates Americans, she hates Mexicans, she hates Indians. She's a straight up racist, and you elected her in. So now, this will be my last calling to some of you. I love all of the Japanese people who have still so far a straight up mind left so far. But after looking at all the footage of Japanese people straight up putting up the Republican flag for the American part of people in the United States, they were all cheering for Donald Trump when it was elections, when Donald Trump was competing against Kamala Harris. All of you, instead of pulling up the flags for Kamala, you all rose it up for Donald Trump. Then I continued to see Chiba reviews, Red Says Desu, and lots of other Japanese content creators, along with Asmongold, and Kirsch, and Smogalana, and Filian, and Hirohei, and all of any other person who was affiliated with Japan, and all sorts of people. I don't forget the Japanese lawmakers who are in Japan who also embraced racist rhetoric, who are against immigrants. Your country is founded on a stereotype that all of you work in the worst working conditions possible, and you decided to vote somebody horrible out of your hate for foreigners, for a few bad eggs. You voted your leader in out of rage. My country voted in Donald Trump because they thought he looked cool. They thought he was more impressive than Kamala Harris, that he had more grits than Kamala Harris. Y'all turned on her for one simple edited clip of her saying to the immigrants to not come into America. She meant that for illegal criminal immigrants, actual criminals, not just Mexicans. Boy, did I see everybody in Miami, my own state, betray Kamala Harris and vote for Donald Trump. Hundreds of thousands of you that could have turned the tide on Donald Trump that day. I had to see it for myself in Miami. All of you were wearing red, MAGA hats, proudly. You Colombians, you Venezuelans, you Dominicans, you Puerto Ricans, all of you. And you turned on Kamala Harris for that one terribly edited clip of her saying not to come to the immigrants. They were trying to deal with an immigrant crisis because of what Trump started and because of the COVID and Ukraine war. Y'all couldn't use your brains and you were like, nah, Donald Trump's best for this country. He'll fix all of our groceries and payments and bills the day he comes into government. And now I look everywhere and I'm like, yeah, you kind of screwed up. Now you're all begging for Democrats to replace every person you voted in. It's a lesson to you. So, pity is what I have for the people who betrayed, for my fellow Hispanic Americans, or just Hispanic in general, for betraying Kamala Harris. You know, you could say Donald Trump sucks, and he's using ICE to his advantage now as his personal army to deport you all of you out of this country. You have still voted for him. You voted for that governor. You voted for Ron DeSantis. Our Democratic nominee against Ron DeSantis was a wuss. He was a wuss Democrat. Democrats are all good. No. We have a few strong ones now because they came out of cruelty. Every Democrat the Democrat that I saw who was competing against Ron DeSantis, which was, by the way, Florida, was a weak Democrat. He straight up, I want to show you. When he was running, he had lack of funding, and he had weak morals, he had a weak voice, he had a weak stance against Ron DeSantis, and he lost. The Florida is a known history of being Republican, and I live in that Florida. So when I went over to see how Miami is doing, I was like, dang, they're wearing Make America Great Again hats. These dimwits, these idiots, these retards. Now here we are. The Japan, same for Japan. Because now they're going to try going out there masquerading their streets, saying that foreigners are immigrants, illegal aliens. Just like how she idolized Donald Trump. You never knew that? Ooh. Yes, your prime minister was idolizing Donald Trump when he came out. When he came out and visited. Funny enough, not even long after, when Donald Trump, met your prime minister, your female leader, one of the leaders of Japan. Japan has a complex election system. I know it's not as simple as just saying that she's like all the leader of Japan. So, yeah, after a few days of meeting who she was, Donald Trump decided to leave a negative comment of your leader behind her back. And she never knew until the news came out of Donald Trump ridiculing her because she was a woman in a position of power related to politics. How foolish can you be? So, all of you people who voted in Donald Trump who are in my state, you foolishly kept voting for red. And now you have ICE agents taking away your children, ripping apart your family, while you get told to work like slaves in your job, to work 2 jobs as your children get taken day by day. Maybe your uncle got kidnapped by ICE agents wearing masks. It would have not been that way if you had not voted in Donald Trump. Sometimes reality is harsh. People will not take it from me. They're going, Viz, you're faulting us? We're supposed to vote for Democrats and you're faulting us? Yeah, because you made the first foolish mistake. This mistake traumatized so many people, hundreds of millions of people, and I hope that people have the mind to take it all back. Well, anyways, with that said, stay safe out there. Rapidly practice your rights. I don't want to hear anybody go around telling me, Viz, you were wrong. Well, now you at least know that with how it is, we're about to go into a war with Venezuela. Yeah, and a full-blown war with Venezuela. Yeah, I want you to think about that. Poland is in a tight relationship with Russia. Poland, literally. Remember the drone strikes? While everybody keeps sending me AI slop and sending me deepfakes of me kissing Donald Trump, the more foolish you look like. The more foolish and agonizing and retarded you look like to me. Every time you say no, you throw away your rights. For a man, he will never give you the money he's earning now. He's earning billions. Billions. And you're all sending me that, and you're all telling me I'm wrong? Fuck off, MAGA. Stay safe out there. We need informed leaders out there. My name is Viz Mega. I'm done with this video. I'll be ending it here today. Stay safe out there. Do your best. Be your best. Share kindness. Open your eyes. Learn that it's now time to wake up. Elections are tomorrow. Full elections. We need to vote in blue. Virginia. We need New Jersey, New York, and we need Texas. To fold today. We need to fold those states. Same for California. Vote blue. Vote blue while you still can. Because you only got tomorrow to do so.